Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Trump and Schumer and how Republican voters, are less than thrilled with the performance of Republican senators and Trump himself. And we're just going to kind of go through a message and explain something in a little bit more detail. We've talked about it, but we were focusing on one particular aspect of it, and maybe it's a good idea to step back and take a look at the whole thing. So here's the message. Can you explain exactly how the Dems played Republicans on the border bill? I was at a Memorial Weekend fishing trip with my family. Most of my family are Republicans. They were all saying that Trump got played by Schumer and that Republicans in the Senate were too dumb to even understand what happened. Then they said Schumer was right, he's playing chess, and the Republicans were playing checkers. I don't get it. Schumer brought it up for a vote twice. Republicans voted against it. How did he play them? By giving them what they wanted, and why won't Republicans be able to get the bill later? Okay, so the border bill itself was a negotiated bill. It was a bipartisan thing. And understand, the Republicans won that negotiation. Most people watching this channel, if you actually sat down and looked at this bill, you would be adamantly opposed to it. It is very much a Republican immigration bill. Now, the reason the Democratic Party gave them so much was because really it seemed like it was going to end up tied to Ukraine, and they wanted that package to go through. The quote that keeps getting attributed to Schumer, and to be honest, I don't even know if he said this, but there are so many Republicans saying that he said it. Even if he didn't, he might as well have. He reportedly said, "We are playing chess, they are playing checkers, and we got our Ukraine bill. And we are in much better shape on the border than we were 3 months ago." That is a 100% accurate statement. So, it was negotiated, and it was a bipartisan thing. The Republicans came out on top on this bill. It gave them pretty much everything they wanted. The Democratic Party got their Ukraine bill through. Schumer brought this up for a vote. Why? Because Trump said not to do anything about the border. He wants to be able to run on the border. If they pass incredibly comprehensive Republican immigration legislation, he can't do that anymore. So he told the Republican people in Congress to vote against it. He didn't want it to go through. And for whatever reason, they did. Twice. It has not gone through. The reason Schumer played them is because he brought it up and let them vote it down. This bill contains a lot of things that Republican voters want. They really want it. They've been told they were going to get it since 2016 when Trump was running the first time. And they had the chance to get it. And Biden, honestly, I think Biden would have signed it if it went through. But they voted against it. So Schumer and the Democratic Party, they're going to be able to use this. They're going to be able to pull out the different pieces about how it was going to be harder to get asylum and just all kinds of little things, and use that against any Republican that is running on this issue. The Republican Party had a choice to make. They could get what they wanted, or they could continue to fearmonger with it. And they chose to leave it open to give them something to run on. Now, this next part, and this is kind of the big part that we didn't talk about before, I don't think. Why won't Republicans be able to get the bill later? Because it was a bipartisan thing, and because the Democratic Party was really concerned about something else at the time, they got a whole lot. The Republican Party got a whole lot in this. The only way the Republican Party is going to get this deal again is if they have a filibuster-proof Senate, control of the House, and the presidency. Because the Democratic Party will block it. Because it's not a Democratic Party bill. Not really. You have some Democrats that would support this, but not many. But not many. And if it was a situation where, let's say, the Republicans have the White House and the House. If it goes through the House, the Democratic Party, in theory, would kind of close ranks and block it. It is unlikely the Republican Party will ever get a deal that good again anytime soon. And they voted against it because they want to be able to scare middle-aged, middle-income white people. That's really what it is. They want to be able to fearmonger about it. And, they're saying that it didn't meet everything that they wanted. I mean, that's probably true, but I mean, when it first came out, they were referring to it as their bill. And it is definitely not a Democratic Party bill. This is one of those rare instances where the Democratic Party actually played hardball. And hopefully, based on the results, maybe they'll start doing it a little bit more. Because you have Republicans at family functions talking about how Trump got played by Schumer, and how the Republicans in the Senate aren't that bright because they don't even understand what happened. My guess is that Republicans in the Senate believed that their constituents weren't that bright and they wouldn't understand what happened. I don't think that's how it's going to play out, because for this to work for the Democratic Party, all they have left to complete this plan and play true hardball is to use this vote in ads during the campaign. Candidate Jack Johnson said that he wants to be tough on the border, but he voted against this. Would have provided this kind of security and, X number more border patrol and all of this stuff. That's the only step they have left. So I would assume that they would follow through with it since they already got through the hard part. But at the end, the Republican Party chose to hang on to that talking point so they could kick down during the election when they could have got it. I mean, it was definitely something they could have gotten the Senate, and they could have moved it through the House, and I believe Biden would have signed it. So, anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.